to the show, everyone. I'm excited about networking with everybody out there. We're live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. My first guest is a longtime guest of mine. I have with me Gil Hacohen, and he is the owner of Lawyers4Less.
Carol, great to see you again. Nice being here as always.
And you know what? I am so happy to have you here because one of the things that you have done is made it affordable for people to get good quality representation for less money.
Absolutely, that was my goal when I started the company, and it's been great for the last, it's been 10 plus years now at this point. Can you believe it?
I can't believe that. That's
it's
awesome.
Unbelievable. And not only when I provide legal services, but I provide free consultations. So if you have a legal question, you can contact me. A lot of firms charge you for a consultation. I offer you free consultations over the phone or in person, and various areas of law as well. So. And by the way, if I don't know the answer to your legal question or I'm not the right guy, I'll refer you to the right person. I'm not one of these people that will tell you I can help you and then not be able to help you. I want you to get the help you need, and I'll refer you to the right person if I'm not the person to do it.
Right, because when you go and get help and something, God forbid, happens, you know, you can, if you don't have any money, obviously you can get representation for that. And then if you have a lot of money, you know, you can get representation if you want.
Absolutely.
But the average Joe. Yeah,
the goal here was for the average Joe, the person making 60, 70, 80 grand a year, 90 grand a year, it still becomes relatively unaffordable to spend $400 or $500 an hour for one of these white shoe firms. And you just simply don't qualify for the community legal aid programs because you make too much money.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal here was to provide a firm with reasonable rates for average people.
You know what his tagline is, don't stress, get a lawyer for less.
That's right.
And I love that. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about...
Sorry, I've been toying with changing that.
But tell me what you're going to do.
More lawyer, less fees. What do you think?
I don't know.
You like the original?
I love the original.
All right.
But we'll see. I have to write that down at the break and we'll discuss, okay?
All right.
Now, you cover a lot of different areas of law, but today, when we came in, I asked you what you want to talk about, and you said, I want to talk about car accidents.
Yeah.
Accidents.
I want to talk about personal injury because it's an area of law that, on one hand is very saturated. You can't drive half a mile without seeing 10 billboards for different personal injury attorneys. But the thing is when you go with a big billboard attorney, you're literally a faceless number, a file on somebody's desk that may or may not be handled appropriately. The reason that these big billboard firms can spend so much money on advertising is because they do what's called churn and burn. They get your case. If they can't settle it quickly, they literally dump you like a bad relationship and move on to the next case. When you go with a smaller firm such as myself, we take the time to really analyze your case and try to get you the most value for your case. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been having great success. I've been, a lot of these, my clients have gone to the big firms and come to me and say, hey, they dumped me or they didn't want to take my case. And well, there's something here, and you just have to dig a little deeper. You have to fight a little harder.
Take a little more time.
Take a little more time, exactly, and get the value out of the case, and I've been doing that.
The number to call him is 602-800-5762. His website is lawyers4less.com. Put this number in your phone because you never know when something's going to happen. And under reputable attorney, he's going to help you.
Reputable.
No, I said that.
Yeah, absolutely. Reputable attorney.
That's right.
Or you just put attorney under attorney Gil.
Put that in your phone because you never know when you're going to need it, and maybe it's you or someone that you know. Don't stress, get a lawyer for less. Call Gil. Right. Now, here's did I say the number? I'm going to do it again for you just in case. So 602-800-5762. I love talking about PI because PI isn't just car accidents. We can talk about them, and we will, absolutely.
Sure.
But I want you to talk about how come people, how there's other areas in, that happen to people that you cover as well under PI.
Sure, so PI stands for personal injury, and it covers a broad range of personal injuries. So a slip and fall is a personal injury, a dog bite is a personal injury, a motorcycle accident is a personal injury. I had a case right now, which it's a tragic, it's a wrongful death case where a person went to one of these pull apart, these junkyards that
Yeah.
pull apart, and a car crushed him, right? And so that's personal injury. So it covers a wide range, and when you need a good personal injury attorney that's willing to go all the way, that's willing to take your matter to trial, to fight for you, then I'm your guy.
The 602-800-5762, it's lawyers, the number 4less.com. Again, put that number in your phone under attorney. I also want to talk about people who, when they get into a car accident, sometimes they don't realize, obviously sometimes they're really hurt bad, right?
Yeah,
And they gotta go to the hospital.
yeah.
When to call you?
Great question. So, the first thing after you get into an accident, car accident, motorcycle accident, any type of accident, is to make sure you're okay, right? And the next thing is to call the police or the paramedics, get somewhere safe and make those calls. The next call you do after that should be to myself or an attorney like myself, because the key to being able to get compensated for your damages is to get treated for your injuries as quickly as possible. A lot of times people call me and they got in their accident, a year ago, and okay, well, you got in your accident a year ago. Did you get treated a year ago? No, I never got treated. Well, if you never got treated, the insurance company is not going to compensate you, because there's what's called a gap in care. You didn't get treated right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to make sure to get treated right away. And what I do and what I've done is I've developed a network of providers that will treat you on what's called a lien basis, meaning they won't take any money out of your pocket, right? So a lot of times people are afraid, well, it's gonna cost me money to go to the doctor, to go to the chiropractor, but the reality is if you go to the right person, they won't take any money out of your pocket, and you get better, and then the nice part is you get a check at the end for your pain and suffering.
And you deserve it. That's the other thing.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
really do. A lot of times people don't call because they think, oh, I'm not gonna be the sue happy people, this
Right,
and that.
they think they're suing the old lady that ran
Right.
into them, but it's not. You're not suing the old lady, you're
Right.
suing the insurance company. That's why we have insurance, right? That's the
Exactly.
whole point.
Mhm.
And if you get in an accident and you're injured, then you deserve to be compensated for your pain and suffering, for your lost wages, for everything that goes along with that.
So when you call Gil, what you're gonna have is a consultation with him, and you gotta listen to the case and see what's going on here, what happened, and get into it so he can know, is this a case or not? That's the main thing.
Right, we gotta analyze what happened, where's the liability fall. Sometimes the liability's not clear, but again, oftentimes with the big billboard firms, they'll dump you if the liability's not clear. I will literally take the time to analyze it, review the police report, make sure that there's something there. If there's not, I'll give you the bad news, but if there is, I will fight hard to get you what you deserve.
He's made it so that it's affordable for you, and that's one of the things that he started his business doing. And you can put this number in your phone, maybe it's you or someone that you know. The number is 602-800-5762. The website is lawyers, the number 4less.com. And his tagline is, don't stress, get a lawyer for less, or what's the other one again?
More lawyer, less fees.
More
I'm working
lawyer,
on it.
less fees. I don't know, we have to do we'll have to
Do a
do a
little round
vote on
table.
that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Little
But
vote.
you know what I say? First of all, he's rated with the Better Business Bureau.
That's
He
right.
helps valley-wide. He does free consultations. He has made it so that it is affordable for people who really can't afford this. Again, that number is 602-800-5762. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a minute. Now, we're live here still
Yeah,
in the room
great.
because of Facebook Live. So let's write that down. I want to say it a few times. More
lawyer, less fees.
lawyer, less fees. Okay, I'm going to think about that.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, because sometimes I move it around a little bit and it still is the same kind of thing, but it works better.
Yeah.
So let me work it out.
just a little refresh, you know? I like
Something
Don't
different.
Stress,
I
Get a
still
Lawyer
love
for
this
Less.
one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't help it.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
But that is good, but we'll we'll try it, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And if you want me to say it, I will say it that way if that's gonna be your tagline.
I don't know.
Not yet.
You can double tagline. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, I'd like to also.
Yeah, think about it. So the nice thing with the personal injury stuff is that, you know, there's no fees, right? Instead of, oftentimes with family law, even, or criminal law, or, you know, whatever it is, even with lower fees, the client has to pay, right?
Right.
And then you've gotta go after the client to pay more if their case is ongoing or complicated, and it kinda becomes not great. You
So
know?
how do you handle that?
I call and I email and I work out payment plans and I'm very gracious in letting people take their time to pay. But ultimately, they still need to pay if they want ongoing representation. I tell people I'm a lawyer for less, I'm not a lawyer for free, you know? Right? But with personal injury, I give them a check at the end, which is really nice. It's a nice feeling. I did that this morning, and the guy, you can read my Google review, said you're doing God's work.
Google reviews.
Let's talk about it.
Go ahead, what did he do?
Yeah, he got in an accident, he was a passenger, somebody else was a drunk driver, his buddy was, I guess, driving drunk, drove off a ditch, this guy broke his back, called me for a family law matter and started telling about how he'd been in this accident and you know, ever since then, his ex-wife tried to take his kids away,
Oh my God.
I said, well, has anyone helped you with the accident? He said, no, I was just a passenger. Come in today. Let me help you. And I ended up changing his life. I got him $50,000. And,
Wow.
you know,
Can we talk
life-changing
about
money.
that story on air?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, because that's a good story.
Yeah.
They like those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
definitely.
was really good.
It's amazing.
And it felt really good, you know, to give this guy life-changing money.
And I bet you he was just
Ecstatic,
thrilled.
of course. We're back on.
So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Gil Hacohen, and he's the owner of Lawyers4Less. And I want to say something. At the break, you were talking a little bit about something that just you did this morning, and we're going to talk about this story. But you brought up Google reviews for a second, and we want people to go and check out your Google reviews, because when you do what you did with somebody like this, you did with this morning, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Your reviews, it's wonderful. Not only does it make you feel good, but your clients, they gotta be so incredibly ecstatic.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about PI. Again, for anyone that just tuned in, I do want you to tell them that you do you go over a lot of different law, but
Yeah.
we're just focusing on that right now today.
Yeah, I do all sorts of different law, and what I was going over with you on the break is that, you know, with these other areas of law, ultimately, even with lower fees, the client still needs to pay, right? And so sometimes it becomes a challenge, and you know, I'm a softie, right? So I give them payment plans, I give them extended periods of time to pay, but ultimately they have to pay. I tell them I'm a lawyer for less, I'm not a lawyer for free, right?
Please
But
understand that.
Right. With personal injury, at the end, I get to give the client a check.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like this morning, it's life-changing money.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's life-changing money, it's a beautiful thing to see. I mean, you really, this guy was a passenger in a vehicle. The driver of the vehicle was drunk and got in a car accident, wrecked the car. My client was in the hospital with broken back, all sorts of problems. And he actually had contacted me for a family law issue, because since the accident, his ex-wife wanted to take away his kids. And so he contacted me for a family law issue and started telling me about his car accident, his situation. And I asked him, I said, well, has anyone helped you out with this car accident? He said, no, because he didn't think that he'd be able to get compensated because he was just a passenger. And I said, well, think again, come into my office right now and let's figure this out. And he came, and sure enough, he was able to get compensated. And like I said, it was life-changing money for him, and it was a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
And you know what's really great is that people don't realize, like, just like that, they're the passengers, so they're thinking that the guy just thought that he doesn't, it doesn't count for him.
Qualify, it doesn't count,
But
right.
you do.
Yeah,
But you
absolutely,
do.
yeah, you're the passenger,
What
you
are
were
some of
injured.
the other myths that come up when it comes to PI and car accidents?
Sure, again, the biggest myth is that you have to pay to go to the doctor, and it's gonna cost you money to get well and get better, and that's a huge myth. Another myth that we went over prior to the break is that you're suing the person that hit you, right? And oftentimes people feel bad because maybe it's an older person or so, but you're not suing that person, you're suing the insurance company.
Mhm.
And so these are some of the myths that prevent people from actually getting the compensation they deserve for their injuries.
Well, what you don't know, you don't know. I say that a lot on this show.
Absolutely, that's a great line. You
It
don't know
really
what you don't know, and so when you don't, you call someone like myself, you get a free consultation, and I will help you figure out if you have a case and if you deserve to get compensated.
Now, his phone number is 602-800-5762. Put the number in your phone under attorney. And his website is lawyers4less.com. And his tagline, the one I'm gonna use, is don't stress, get a lawyer for less. He's valley-wide, he's rated with the Better Business Bureau, he does free consultations. And when we're talking about people like you and me, the average Joe,
Yeah.
that's who should call Gil.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's too many people that can't afford it, and they go without. They go without.
They go without, and again, not to toot my own horn here, but another big difference between myself and some of these billboard lawyers is you always speak to an attorney, right? When you call a big billboard lawyer, you're speaking to a case manager that's probably getting paid $14 an hour to listen to you, and maybe they know what they're talking about, maybe they don't. But when you call Lawyers for Less, you're always talking to an attorney, and guess what? You'll always have that attorney's direct contact information. So the number that you're giving out is the office line. When you become a client, you get the attorney's direct contact information, which is great because you want to have good communication with your attorney.
The number to call is 602-800-5762. I just want to ask you, for anybody that might have had an accident, is there a statute of limitations?
Yeah, the statute of limitations is 2 years on a personal injury.
Okay.
So if you've been injured anytime in the last 2 years, you can certainly call. Again, the key here was whether you were treated after the accident. Even if you went to the hospital and just got some x-rays, then that's what the insurance company will use to determine what your damages are. If you get in an accident and you don't treat for several months, and then all of a sudden your back starts hurting, the insurance company often says, well, you can't tie the back injury 2 months later to the car accident that happened 2 months ago.
Right.
So the key is whether or not you got treated pretty close in time to the car accident.
And the other thing is, I want you to reiterate again that how with PI with this, even with they have to go, let's say, to a chiropractor or to a doctor, you have special people that you work with. Go ahead, I want to hear that.
So, one of the big things with these accidents, and one of the big myths is that people think they have to come out of pocket to get better. I have a network of providers that not only will treat you on what's called a lien basis, that you don't have to pay out of pocket, but later, after everything's said and done, because we have such close working relationships, they oftentimes will then reduce their bill. And when they reduce their bill, that ends up putting net more money into your pocket, you the client, because we have a working relationship where I refer them clients, and they end up reducing some of their bills.
Which again can go back into your pocket, which is that's what you're
Not into my pocket.
No,
The client's
into the
pocket.
client, in the client. But here's the thing. The other thing that we want you to know is with Gil, you get quality legal service, quality legal advice with paying affordable prices. Just because it's less doesn't mean that you get less quality. I want to talk about that a little bit.
Right, and let me just put that in the context of personal injury, because again, with personal injury, you don't pay anything out of pocket. You get a check at the end. But the way I do the Lawyers for Less is the standard attorney fees in Phoenix, or it might even be nationwide for personal injury, is 33.3%. It's basically a third, and my fees are lower than that, and that's how I incorporated Lawyers for Less into the personal injury world, is by offering a personal injury representation for, again, lower fees. You don't come anything out of pocket. When it's time to get your check, you
get more
you get
because of
more.
that.
Correct.
Okay, now, I'm gonna give out this number again. It's 602-800-5762. You're gonna get a free consultation, which is what it's all about, okay? If you've been in an accident, have the consultation. And first off, number one, is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Go to the hospital, just even if you think you're not sure, go anyway, no matter what, right?
Yep, go to the
Okay.
hospital, absolutely, make sure you're okay, get the professionals, let the doctors tell you that you're okay.
Now, when we were talking earlier too, you said that you wanted to talk about recovery.
Yeah, so, I don't know how forthcoming you've been with your listeners about, you
Yes.
had a surgery,
They know,
right, and you're in
yeah.
recovery.
I'm still limping around.
You're limping around, and you said you went to Ortho Arizona,
Yeah.
and I send some of my clients there to Ortho Arizona for
Uh-huh.
recovery, because recovery is really what it's about when personal injury. A lot of people think you're gonna get rich off a car accident. The reality is you're probably not getting rich off a car accident unless something tragic happens, which
yeah.
you really don't want, right? But the key is to get you to feel better, right? To make you whole, to make your recovery as quick and as painless as possible. And that's where we can come in, again, by referring you to a wide network of whether it's a chiropractor, a physical therapy, MRI, or ortho, pain management, all these various doctors that can get you to feel better, to make you whole, which again, no cost out of your pocket. So that's the key.
Again, that's what it's all about, and a lot of people, they refrain from calling attorney because they think it's that number one, they think that lawyers just want to make money, and that's it, and that
Yeah.
it's all about the money. But that isn't the case, especially with you. It's all about your clients.
Yeah, ultimately, look, everybody wants to make money, sure, right? But ultimately, when you call me, my goal is to make you feel better and to get you the care that you deserve and to get you the compensation that you deserve as quickly and efficiently as possible.
And the representation that you deserve as well.
Absolutely.
Again, that phone number to call, please put it in your phone, because whether you need it now or maybe some at another time, you just never know. It's 602-800-5762. You can check him out on his website. It's lawyers4less.com. Also check him out on Google. The ratings are all there. They're all of the reviews that you can see. He's rated with the Better Business Bureau. He is valley-wide. He does free consultations. He covers a lot of different areas of law, but we're just talking about PI today.
That's
just
right.
so happens to be that that's what we focused on. Again, his tagline is "Don't stress, get a lawyer for less." I love it, and I still love it no matter what. 602-800-5762. It's lawyers, the number 4less.com.
Thank you.
Senator Jimmy